kafir dari Indonesia! Usir kafir!
There's no place for infidels in Indonesia, this man screams. Sentiments are rising against the construction of a church in this suburb of Jakarta. Members of hardline groups like the Islamic Defenders Front took to the streets to show their anger at the increase of churches in predominantly Muslim Indonesia.
Memang di Indonesia ini bukan negara Islam.
Indonesia is not an Islamic state, but it's also not a state of evil. We have rules in this country. If someone wants to build a mosque or a church, he has to follow the rules.
The conflict escalated on Sunday when Reverend Luspida Simanjuntak and a church elder were seriously wounded during an attack on their way to hold a church service on an empty plot of land in Bekasi, West Java. 10 people have been arrested for stabbing and beating the two church leaders. The Reverend makes a plea to the police to protect her congregation of 1,500 members from future attacks.
We really hope nobody will die. That's why I say to the police, if something happens again this Sunday, I will hold the police responsible for not protecting us.
At the root of the conflict lies a disputed government regulation that forces Christians and Muslims to obtain support from the community first before building a house of worship. The congregation in Bekasi says it received enough signatures to build their church until hardliners forced people to withdraw their support.
This is a Muslim neighborhood. We know that. Indonesia is predominantly Muslim. If we have to follow this regulation, how can we ever obtain a permit to build a church?
To ask the government to revoke or revise the regulation, Christians together with moderate Muslims took to the streets. It's a rare sight. In predominantly Muslim Indonesia, Christians are demonstrating. In a country that is proud of its tolerance and diversity, they now feel that their rights are being hampered. Not only Christians, but also a moderate Muslim majority is worried about increasing intolerance and the government's lack of action.
They consider Indonesia as the place of the moderate Muslim, the seat of the smiling Islam. But the fact is that not only because they are facing very serious problem, but they also consider that now Indonesia is heading to the situation in which also the place of the angry Islam.
The government is urged to take firm action against hardline groups using violence, otherwise the fragile balance between different religions could lead to a more serious conflict, damaging Indonesia's famous face of tolerance and diversity. Vaessen, Jazeera, West Java.